Hello and welcome. In this short video, I will show you what a Gradle velocity BuildScan can tell you about your Maven or Gradle build. You can see here that I ran a Spring Boot build with --scan and generated this BuildScan for it. So let's take a look what it tells us about the build. You can see here general information, which JDK I used, how did I build it, which machine I used, and then the information about the most important thing. Did the build fail? Well, it did not. We have 0 failures. You can see here deprecations and warnings, and probably the Spring Boot team is on it to make sure that they're all cleaned out before it will start failing in the next version of Gradle. You can see here the tasks. Well, that was an intense build. 2,764 tasks were executed in 2 minutes and 25 seconds, which is fine. It's a big project. And you can see that we also managed to save 5 minutes, more than 5 minutes, in different avoidance techniques like incremental build, caching, etc. You can see here the top of the tasks that took the most time. And obviously the tests were in the top of what took a lot. It's all tests right here. All the top is tests. You can see here what performance analytics we can get. The 2 main components of the build: configuration, only 2 seconds, and then the execution, which is the build and the tests, obviously 2 minutes and 25 seconds, the rest of it. And in the tests, you can see which test took most of the time. So you can see the top ones here: 11 seconds, 9, and then a couple of under 10 seconds, and then under 7. Those are the top, and we will see how can we dig deeper and see the details in a second. You can see here the list of the projects, which projects were built and how long it took and why, and the list of dependencies both for the build and for the project and for the build. You can see here which repositories it used, and obviously explore the repositories in detail. Which plugins were involved in the project? Well, Spring Boot uses a lot of different plugins. We can explore those as well. Information about the metadata, the custom values that the team annotated the build with, the switches that were turned on in Gradle itself, and then information about infrastructure, stuff like the operating system, number of cores, the memory that was used, etc., etc. Now, as I mentioned, we can go and dive deeper. Let's look at those tests, for example. So we can explore the tests and see the outcome, whether they passed or failed, and how long did it take for each and every test. And they are grouped by different tests, and then we can dive into specific tests and see more details about each and every test involved. Let's also look at dependencies. This is the list of all the dependencies that were resolved. We can also take a look at the repositories, and we can see here stuff like Maven Central, Gradle plugin repository for the Gradle plugins, and then Spring's own Artifactory instance for internal dependencies. The list of plugins and how many times they were used. It can be very, very helpful information, etc., etc. So as you can see, by running your build, Gradle or Maven, with --scan, well, for Gradle, for Maven you will need a plugin, but Gradle, build, --scan, you get all this information right in your browser. It's completely free, and it will help you to understand your build better. With that, thank you very much. See you in the next one.